The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
What is up, Octo Nation? It is Charlie. I'm going to be your host for today. I've had a lot of requests and the same questions over and over and over about the Tesla, the Apple, and the GreenPower splitting of the stocks. One of them's going one way, the other one's going the other. So I'm going to try to explain it and come up with a little bit of a double-edged sword and kind of look at both sides of the spectrum and give you my thoughts of what I think is probably going to happen for all, or if anything's going to happen whatsoever. So let's take a look. So after stock splits, usually stocks go up 8% over the next year. That's just kind of the normal pattern, all right? But first of all, we're talking about Tesla. There's nothing normal about Tesla whatsoever. Why? Let's take a look, okay? First of all, just look at the chart. So this actually did have some consolidation recently, which was odd for Tesla, but it's usually been on these just absolute ripper trails where it just keeps going. I mean, it has these little tiny little micro couple day dips, but other than that, it's just absolutely mooning, unlike any tech stock we've seen maybe since the 2000s or before that, or I don't know. Has anyone ever calculated that? Has this thing just ripped them all? So we had a low of $342 at the end of March on Tesla's stock. You want to know what it's at now? It's at a high. It hit a high of 2,328, which is a staggering 6.8% on your money, 6.8x times on your money if you would have bought in March. Unbelievable. Take a look at this. So here was the March dip. It actually had a massive rally. What was it, like January or something to March? It just had this, the March sell-off. And then look at what it's done since then. And look at the past month. It's just straight green on the weekly here. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you would have thought they just released the car and they just sold 100,000 the first month or something like that. But guess what? It was been way more than that. Nothing too major has really happened. They've come out with some cool releases, the SpaceX thing, the hype around that. Where now we've been hearing about the neurology implant thing, so that's kind of helped, but the amount that this has gone up is absolutely crazy. This is like Microsoft first hitting the shelves, okay? This is crazy. So, is it time for a pullback? Technically, yes, for sure. Look at this chart. Like I said, by all standards of charts and companies, this should be in for another pullback, at least like we had over here. Was it a couple months ago, maybe in June or something. It went up and had a decent little pullback and scared some people off, and charted out in there, and we were saying that it was probably the time to buy because it kept smacking it, and sure enough, it stayed on this line at 14.15, and then gapped to sky since then. There's literally been hardly any pullback whatsoever. But does that matter anymore? Do technicals matter anymore? Yes, they for sure do. You better believe it. With Tesla though, I don't know. It's kind of its own monkey. What do you think? Is the monkey out of the cage? Is it still climbing up the trees? I think it's its own animal. The stock will be opening up because what is happening is they've got a 5x split happening. And it is going to be opening up on Monday right around $443.40. What's going to happen? What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to moon, or do you think it's going to bear? Do you think it's going to go down? I don't think so. I think it's going to keep going up. Are there going to be pullbacks? For sure. All technicals aside, and following this trend, are we following the trend, or are we just following the people? Are we following the rally, or are we following the charts? I think the people following the charts haven't been making money, at least for Tesla. At least recently, right? I mean, who cares? It's just its own beef jerky. You got to dive right in. It's the best out there. Pemmican. Y'all ever had that? Pemmican beef jerky? I can't even find it anymore. Let me know if you know where to buy it. Will people take profit along the way? Of course they are. Now, where do I see people taking profit? When we get to the psychological number around 500. So I think that this thing is going to keep rallying. We're going to see people kind of going in and out. But until about 500, we might have a decent sell-off, or it might do the NEO. Remember the NEO stock? What just happened? There's a psychological bump at about $20 that it's usually hard to get past 20 for stocks, but once it does, it kind of goes up. Well, NEO just consolidated right below it at like $19.20. But then when it went bull, it just sliced directly right through it, okay, and went straight through 20, didn't even blink. I think that's what will probably happen to the 500. But after we get above that, let's just call it $515 or something like that, 508, 514. I think we're going to see a massive sell. All right, and it might get it back to about 500, but I think it's going to keep rallying, at least until the whole presidency thing is overcome November-ish. Okay, then we'll have to hold on for there. So some of the recent catalysts that I think will further drive Tesla stock. Number one, what I've already was just talking about was the Neuralink thing. Okay, this is not new news, but there was a hype. This Friday hype video that was showing off the new stuff that they're pulling off with this. This thing is absolutely incredible. It's also really scary if you ask me. They literally cut out a piece of your skull, okay, and they implant this little thumb, stick it in there, sew you back up, and then you've got these tiny little micro wires that'll go and hit certain parts of your brain and all that, and you can control stuff, via your phone or your Tesla or your Mac or your Windows computer. They even had it inside of pigs. I don't remember exact timeline, but they've had it inside some pigs for months, I think, maybe a couple years. And the pigs are still happy, normal, as far as we know. They could just be all jacked up on the Neuralink, like someone typed in, "Be happy today." So the pigs were walking around happy, like, all right, let's play. They were playing with people. I don't know, man. It's totally freaky. It's ultimate. What Elon says, its ultimate potential is almost limitless, he claimed, with one example being the capability to summon a self-driving Tesla telepathically. So, Batman had to call for Alfred to get the car, right? Well, if you've got this thing, you don't need Alfred. You can just think it. Bring me the bat car in your head, and it just pulls up. How sick is that? You could solve blindness, you could solve paralysis, and you could solve hearing. Dude, there's some massive claims there. But he's big on the nervous system, and it's kind of controlled up there. So, man, he's saying back problems and nervous system stuff. I'm sure even down the line to arthritis and all the other crap that you could think of. All right, unbelievable. He said it's of the kind like a Fitbit, kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. He said, I could have a Neuralink right now, and you wouldn't even know. Maybe I do. Y'all ever seen Matrix? Is everyone there listening old enough to know what Matrix is? Movie where they tapped in. They just tap in a thing in the back, and he wakes up a couple minutes later, and he's like, I know Kung Fu. And they programmed to know Kung Fu. He's chopping things and kicking. It could be like that. I want to learn Kung Fu. Boom, I'm good to go. So I'm surprised PETA wasn't freaking out. They could be, but they were animal testing on pigs, but they seemed to be fine. They are still hiring like crazy for Neuralink. It is totally wireless. Not only is it totally wireless, but you don't have to plug it in or whatever. At the end of the day, you don't have to plug into your phone. Well, Apple couldn't anyway, right? Because they don't have the jack anymore. But Android people could still plug in. But you don't have to do it. This is totally wireless, and it's got wireless charging too. So maybe in your pillow, it's gonna have a charger at night, so you can just lay down with the Tesla pillow and sleep. Just wake up fully charged and no Kung Fu. I don't know. They're hiring massive in China for their new Tesla factory they got. So they've got this massive monstrosity over in China that I don't know if they're leasing or bought or whatever, but it's huge, and they can basically build a trillion, billion, zillion cars at a time. It's going to help them out because Asia's, I think, going to be their biggest market, and could possibly already be their biggest market. Don't get twisted. Asia is massive. Lots of money made over there. Then good old Mrs. Kathy Wood, she's the head of ARK Investment Fund, the trust, whatever it is. She put a target on them just recently of $7,000, and this was before that. So now we're gonna have to divide that, but still, that's saying at current prices, it would have to 3.5x what it's currently at. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, if you look at the big macro picture of all the thoughts that Elon has about stuff, it could get there, man. If this neurology thing happens. Imagine if hospitals were like, oh, we'll just simply implant this into your skull. They could do that. I mean, for only 4.5x what's out. I mean, it's still trading at what, like a PE ratio over 1,000 right now. If you don't know, a PE ratio, it's just showing kind of like your profit per share, kind of what it's worth, and anything over $100 is considered overvalued by far. Okay, I think they're like well over 1,000 on that. But again, we're pricing in future things with him for sure, because he's a future forward thinker, but he's proved most of the things he's talked about. I mean, look at the SpaceX stuff. Look at what he's doing. I mean, I don't know if we've seen it proven with the humans and the thing. I mean, unless he's already programmed and got in it, I don't know. I think if someone was controlling him right now, he'd be a little bit better of a speaker. I don't know. I think it's cool though. I still think it's got plenty of room to run. So the psychology of owning part of Tesla. It's kind of a hype thing. There's kind of something cool about it. People want to be able to say, yeah, I invest in Tesla. So cheers to me, right? They're going to go to parties, cocktail parties, and yeah, I invest in Tesla. So now you can show off and let everyone know that, yeah, I'm an investor in Tesla. I help regulate the financials for Tesla. You can tell people that. Elon asked for my advice along with other investors on future changes and catalysts. Just gives me a call. He doesn't give me a call, but I kind of vote in, with some other people. It's no big deal. Of course, I own many shares of Tesla now. People want to be part of the in crowd, even if they'll never admit it. Most people that are making fun of the in crowd are the ones that just were never able to get in there because of their own choice. It's a choice. And now some of them might be able to afford to. Before you've gotten partial shares, but wouldn't it be cooler to say, so before, like on Robinhood and maybe I don't even know on Webull if you can, but some other platforms, you could buy like up to like 1,000,000th of a share or something, or 100,000th of a share. So you can buy like 1,000th of a share of Microsoft or Tesla or something. But wouldn't it be cool to tell someone that you're trying to hit on, hey, I own multiple shares of Tesla, instead of saying, I own 9/16 of one Tesla share. You might get a reaction like that. What do you think? 9/16 of a Tesla share, but now you can say, I got one. Why? Because it's only going to be $450 or whatever on Monday. So maybe we can get it. So will Tesla stock go up after the split on Monday? I think for sure it will. Doesn't mean it's going to, but I think most people believe it will. So that means most people are probably going to be putting money into it, which means the stock's going to go up. So I bet it gets close, like I was saying, to 500 fast. Once it crosses it, the puppeteers, the guys up here, are going to make the puppets dance. Yay! And probably take some profits, then it'll go down, and then they'll freak out and sell, and then the puppeteers will then buy again. Maybe around 480 or something. I don't know. Or it could just, by the end of next week, go up to 600. I don't know. We'll have to see. But will we multiply by the end of the year? I think it could. I think it'd be pretty amazing if it did too. I mean, what if it 2x that 450-ish? What if it got to 900 by the end of the year? I think it could. I mean, look what it's done in the past. What did I say it was? Like 6.5x? What was it? Yeah, 6.8x since March. So it could probably 2x again. I mean, we're already up there, and now you're multiplying, so it's harder to multiply, but I think it's possible. I think it's incredible to think about, really. But what happens when a stock goes the other way? What do you mean? So recently, if y'all haven't heard or even know what this company is, this is a young little Tesla called GreenPower. GreenPower, they're out of Canada, based in Canada. Well, that's where the headquarters kind of at, but they focus right now on the United States. They're mainly into like buses and commercial vehicles. So these guys recently just had split the other way. So the price went up. Okay. So when the price was trading around like $3, like Wednesday or Thursday, and then overnight it went up to like $21-ish. So it did a 7x split. So there was an outpouring of people that were, quote, mad and thinking they got, unquote, ripped off. As it goes, the opposite way for folks, we're now thinking, I had 7 shares and now I only have 3. And so people were pissed because they're like, I had 7 shares on Wednesday and I woke up now and I got 3 shares. What is going on? So the craziest part is now we are even claiming the stock, which is now sitting at $21, is overpriced. So there's literally people now that are like, oh my gosh, in 2 days this stock went from $3 to $21, and now I believe it is completely overpriced. Absolutely, totally overpriced. It's not. I got news for you. It's not. In fact, technically, there really hasn't been a change at all, other than the fact that some symbols changed. Okay, so I'm going to move in a little bit more here, but your value is still exactly the same. So guess what? You have nothing to worry about other than the psychological part of people thinking like that, where they look at it as a negative thing. I personally look at it as a good thing because there's always 2 different ways, 10 different ways to look at stuff. So I've got good news for you. Your shares still worth the same as they were on Thursday to Friday. So instead of having 7 pizzas from Little Caesars, you now have 3 pizzas from Round Table. You guys even know what Round Table is? Is that just a West Coast thing? So Little Caesars, you know, they're well known, at least as far as I know, is they're kind of nasty, Little Caesars, and they're cheap. They're cheap pizzas, but they're kind of nasty. But you could get 7 of those for the same price of 3 pizzas from Round Table. Now, Round Table pizza is over 3 times as expensive, let's call it, 3 times the price, but you're getting like 3 times the value, and I totally believe that because I think Little Caesars pizza is disgusting, but I think Round Table pizza is awesome. Okay. There's another analogy that might make you understand this is, would you rather have 7 Kias in your driveway, or would you rather have 3 Ferraris in your driveway? No? I'd rather have 3 Ferraris, as long as I don't got to pay for the maintenance and they're still under warranty. So regardless, many won't see the video and might sell off. So many people are not going to watch this video, or the 2 I've already done about the GreenPower, or even the Tesla, and mainly the GreenPower, and they're probably going to sell off. But the good news is the big money that's in the stock. They understand those analogies that I was just talking about with the pizza and the Ferraris and the Kias. And they will keep buying this as it's still incredibly cheap compared to, let's say, Tesla. If we're really pricing in future growth of companies, this GreenPower is probably going to be an absolute monster. We've talked about in previous videos, even if they get 10% of 10% down the line of the school bus contracts, that's enough to absolutely moon the stock and evaluation. Will they get that? I'm sure they will. Probably in the next 5 to 10 years, easily, I'd say, for sure. And that's just the school buses. If you don't know anything about this company, please go and see my other couple videos I've done about GreenPower. It's pretty incredible what they're doing. So why is this good? So the main reason this was done, the stock split on the GreenPower, was to get it about minimal thresholds to be listed on the NASDAQ. So they were originally launched on the OTC market. Okay, and that all changed on Friday because they wanted to get listed on the NASDAQ. Why? So they could get a bigger, broader exposure, and it's easier to trade. And being on NASDAQ is kind of where you want to be. Being on OTC, everyone kind of goes, there's usually more fees involved. Not all trading platforms allow you to trade on it. Okay, we'll get into some more here. So people with trading apps such as Robinhood or Webull, they couldn't even buy this. So you couldn't even buy this GreenPower on Wednesday if you were on Robinhood or Webull, but now you can. Not only that, here's something that people don't talk about. So because this was only trading like $3, to get on the NASDAQ, you've got to have somewhere between like $2 to $5 minimum stock price. Okay, so that was the main reason they did that, to zoom up. Okay, but then here's another big thing. So big pension places like big mutual fund trustee people that take people's millions and millions of dollars, multi-generational wealth, and say, give me your money, I will invest it. They can't even buy it. Many of them can't buy stocks that are under $5. because it's too risky. I don't know. There's rules, but so what does that mean? So in one 7x swoop-de-doo, the little investors, so the Webull and the Robinhood guys and the big dogs can now come to ball instead of just the average Joes. So before it was just the average Joes buying for the OTC that think they're investing in this company, it was cool, they're seeing the big macro picture of it. But now we've got the little guys on the Robinhood and Webull jumping in, and we've got the big dogs coming in. So us average Joes are not going to be alone. We're not going to be alone anymore. By the way, do you remember that video I did on Friday morning to help everyone out about this green bus chart? Because I've already been trying to help out and describe this and help people understand, but I had to do a little bit more. But y'all remember that chart? Well, some folks were laughing at me and telling me this stock is brand new and this guy already thinks that he has support and resistance already figured out. Lol. Lol. Well, for the folks who actually watched it, you would understand why and how I did it. But if you didn't watch it all the way through, you're not going to get it. So, well, let's just take a look at what got tagged perfectly for us. Support and resistance. Take a look. Drew these in for you guys. And look at this. See this channel? And look what happened at the end of the day for us. It tagged us perfectly. So if you would have watched the video, you would have known it's probably going to smack that and head right back up. It did. So this kind of proves it right there. So please go watch that video too. If you know, maybe it's worth a rewatch. Hopefully this one opened your eyes a little bit to try to see the big picture that really nothing's changed. The value of your stock is still the same. If you still don't get it, keep asking questions. I'll try to make another video to describe it a little bit better. But essentially, you got the same value. They just gave you Ferraris instead of Kias. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. That really helps out. Why isn't there a hang loose button? That'd be kind of cool. Kind of little in-betweener. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. If you enjoyed this video, please send it out to your friends. That's what I'd really appreciate even more than anything. Just send this out on social media or any club you're in or anything like that. We really appreciate it. I try to get up videos daily, if not bi-daily. I'm actually working on maybe about 5 other ones right now, just trying to get the best one out to get us multiplying our money the fastest. And I had to get this one out so you could think about it for the rest of the weekend because Monday is coming real fast. So y'all have a good rest of Saturday, and we'll see you out there probably tomorrow. Y'all take care.